This is BYU Sports Nation, brought to you by the BYU Store, simulcast on BYU TV and BYU Radio. Now, from Studio B, here's Spencer Linton and Jarom Jordan.
BYU Sports Nation is live, your day-to-day play-by-play in Studio B, presented by the BYU Store, official outfitter of BYU fans everywhere. Tuesday, March 1st, wherever and however you're connected, great to have you with us. I am Spencer Linton, teamed up with the guy who frankly needs a signed basketball from the BYU men and women for his man cave, Jarom Jordan.
Listen, you can enter for your chance to win one of 5 basketball prize packs that include autographs from the men and women's basketball team, socks, a mini hoop, and more by following BYU TV Sports on Instagram. Like the post, tag friends for more entries. This giveaway starts today, right now as we speak, through March 7th. 5 winners will be announced March 8th on BYU Sports Nation. So follow at BYU TV Sports on IG. Like the post, tag friends for your chance to win one of 5 prize packs. Let's go.
Fantastic. Get your case ready so that you can display it when you win it. You are all winners today with our show lineup, including an all-access Day 1 recap with BYU football and head coach Kalani Sitake sounding off on how his new running back, Christopher Brooks, and how he looks, and why he's stoked about his interior lineman. Also, bubble talk for BYU basketball with ESPN College Hoops insider John Gassaway. Will winning 2 games at the WCC tournament, including a win over USF, be enough to put the Cougars in the bracket? Plus, an elite pentathlete, one more weekly honor for an elite gymnast, and a football card every collector needs. Bring on today's BYU Sports Nation headlines.
Spring football began yesterday. Kalani Sitake says the experience the Cougars are bringing back is having an impact.
As a program, I think it'll help us a big deal. Not worried about guys depth-wise trying to get experience. Now we're just more concerned on competition and who's going to win the spots, because there's a lot of really good players in every position group. There's a lot of position battles going on.
Some of those position battles happening behind Kalani Sitake, as you could hear. Dave McCann and Blaine Fowler have a recap of Day 1 coming up in What's Trending.
Reigning WCC Player of the Year, Shaylee Gonzalez, is pacing for that honor again after winning WCC Player of the Week for a 3rd time this season. The Cougars, as a team, jump up 2 spots to number 17 in the latest AP Top 25. However, we're not in the selection committee's updated Top 16 revealed just last night.
Maybe after a WCC championship, we'll see. Husseini Traore is the WCC Freshman of the Week for the 4th time this season after a 25-point, 19-rebound game against Pepperdine Saturday. Also, the Cougars are the 2nd team out in Lenardi's latest bracket tally.
Cole Gamble of BYU Baseball named the WCC Baseball Player of the Week after leading the Cougars to a statement sweep at Arizona State. Gamble hit .471 with 2 home runs. He scored 8 runs. The Batcats host Wisconsin-Milwaukee on Thursday for their home opener at Miller Park and look to continue a 5-game win streak.
That's the Tijon Lucas series. That's what that is. Gymnastics takes home 4 of the weekly Mountain Rim Gymnastics Awards, with Sadie Miner-Van Tassel winning Gymnast of the Week for a 7th straight week, and vault as well. Elise Rollins won Beam Specialist, and Brittany Vitkauskis won Floor as well.
BYU men's volleyball hanging on in the latest top 15 ABCA rankings, right at number 15. The Cougars have lost 7 matches in a row for the first time since 1991. Tough task to snap that streak this week on the road against number 6 USC. The first of 2 matches for the Cougars against the Trojans goes down on Friday.
Women's golf shot even par at the Gunrock Invitational in Sacramento yesterday, tied for 6th.
Former BYU basketball star Yoli Childs continues to excel in the NBA G League. Childs scored 22 points on 11 of 15 shooting, at 9 rebounds in a Salt Lake City Stars win over Iowa.
And the NFL Combine begins today. Tyler Algier is scheduled to do interviews on Thursday, work out on the field Friday. And this just in moments ago, former Cougar player Vic Soto is reportedly headed to Cal from the Colorado staff, where he's been there for a couple of months, after being on the USC staff the last couple of years, according to Bruce Feldman. So just moving around the Pac-12.
Some transient coaching changes for sure.
At least it's not Utah.
All rise and shout. It's time for What's Trending.
You're talking about it, and so are we. It's What's Trending on BYU Sports Nation.
What's Trending, presented by BYU Food to Go, the MVP of your next event. BYU football spring day one of the 2022 campaign in the books. So let the rash assumptions and overreactions flow through you all. Practice is great. Any football in March is great, but you better believe we are looking forward with great anticipation to the start of the real games in the 2022 season. So let's go.
Countdown to the Bulls.
186. 186 days away for those still counting. If you missed it yesterday, it was 187. Dave McCann and Blaine Fowler were at practice yesterday and have this recap from day one.
The first official practice of the last year as a football independent is in the books and spring practice is underway. Was there a Big 12 vibe in this first workout?
I'll tell you, there was a lot of energy out here today. The team seemed genuinely be excited to be back out on the field and competing and doing all that. They had shoulder pads and helmets on, so they were getting after it. And it felt like they were weeks ahead of where they were in the first practice last year. A really deep veteran football team at every position, really, and you could feel that out there. They knew what they were doing. They were right into their drills, and it was like they hit the ground running here.
Jaron Hall was on Sports Nation earlier this week and said, hey, I feel 100%. He looked 100%.
Yeah, he looked in midseason form. He's put on a little muscle, so he's a little bit bigger, protect himself from those hits a little bit. But he threw the ball with touch today. He hit some really nice deep balls. He had great velocity on the underneath throws. He looked really, really good and midseason sharp in the first day of practice.
We talked with Puka Nacua. This was his first spring practice in all the years of playing football at Division I level. Didn't have any at Washington, was out last year with an injured foot. He said it was awesome. It's awesome to go full speed and be healthy.
All Puka does is bring energy to every play he's involved in, and if you come to practice, he's the guy that just stands out. You go, whoa, that dude can flat out play better than anybody out here. And you combine him with Gunnar Romney at that wide receiver spot.
We saw a couple of bombs today.
Those two guys were making catches all over the place out in practice today.
And they're going against the best.
I loved what I saw in the fact that every time one of those guys came up, D'Angelo Mandel, D'Lo, he would say, I got him. And D'Lo would come up, and Puka would come up to the line and go, let's go, D'Lo. Come on, let's go. The best wanted to go against the best.
Yeah.
The feeling of competition was out there in this one today. And you love that. When the guys are coming out and they're having fun and they're competing, they're getting better when they're going against the best.
Finally, we talked with Dallin Halker, who lost his voice, but he's going at number 5. That's going to be his old Lehigh High School number. He feels better at number 5. If you feel good, go with it. Isaac Rex we talked to as well. He's not in drills, but he thinks he'll be back in the fall.
Yeah, he was here and he's walking around. If he's back in the fall, then all of a sudden that tight end room is really, really deep again. And Dallin Holker, we mentioned that Jaron Hall looks like he put on some muscle. Holker also put on some muscle weight. He still ran like a wide receiver, like we're used to seeing him run, but looks a little bigger. Last year, just off of a mission, got forced into action with injuries. This year, he's going to be more prepared to play. He's got a bigger body, and by next fall, I expect him, to be 235, 240 pounds and running around.
Good to have football in the air.
It's fun.
Day 1 is over. Practice number 2 Tuesday night. For Blaine Fowler, I'm Dave McCann. It is football season again, even though it's the spring.
Indeed. Thank you, Dave McCann and Blaine Fowler. They were talking about guys that put on muscle. That's always one of the things that everybody talks about.
I want to know who got fatter.
Spring football, okay?
Like, hey, I just ate lard over the break. That's what I want to know.
Okay.
I went last night. Jaron Hall had two dimes that were just incredible. One to Puka on the sideline, one deep to Gunnar Romney. Gunner's got some flow in the back, by the way. Jacob Conover's got football pants on, but he cut them off halfway up his leg. So like Mitch Matthews type short shorts. Yeah, which is an interesting look. I do have some news, sad news to report that Houston Heimuli did shave his mustache. It was a great mustache.
It was a great mustache.
He said he was getting roasted, though.
It's already memorialized in the poster that he created with his little brother Hema.
That's
you always have that.
Yes. Certain guys sitting out with injuries and whatnot. Peyton Wilgar, notably among them. But, good to see Christopher Brooks in there.
He looks big and strong and fast.
Yeah, that was great.
And Ben Bywater is the offseason yoked player of the day, right?
Yes. Yes, Benjamin got after
we
it.
all want to talk about,
Basically,
he looks football ready right now.
BYU is going to win the national championship based on day one of no pads.
Like I said,
hard to know exactly what that
rash assumptions and overreactions.
Yeah, I'm going to get a rash from all these assumptions.
Let's add to it, shall we? Head coach Kalani Sitake added several soundbite gems on day one, so let's listen to a few of those and discuss, beginning with the aforementioned new running back, transfer Christopher Brooks, and the running back group.
He looked really, really good today, and I thought he and Lopini looked really nice, and Hinckley did some good things. I mean, that whole group, McChesney, that whole group, is deep too. So, but from what I saw in Chris and the plays that he made, he can really fit our scheme.
All right.
He will.
Have they found the replacement for Tyler Algier?
No, you don't replace Tyler Algier, but Christopher Brooks is going to be a good running back. It would be hilarious, though, if they were like, crap, he does not fit our scheme. We'll have to change the scheme, I guess. Yeah, he's gonna fit into the scheme, which would be great. I think we're all stoked for Christopher Brooks, right? That he could become a 1,000-yard guy behind that offensive line. In fact, if he's the guy, like if he's the starter and it's clear, do we expect 1,000 yards from Christopher Brooks? I do.
Behind that offensive line, absolutely.
I'd expect like 300 from you. You know what I mean? Like,
behind that offensive line, I'd be disappointed if I couldn't get at least 300.
At least 300.
Good grief.
I didn't say how many carries either, you know?
I mean, tongue-in-cheek, I asked you, can he replace Tyler Algier? Because you're right. Nobody can replace Tyler Algier.
Yeah.
But did we see enough yesterday?
This is the pass I was talking about to Gunner right there.
Did we see enough yesterday from Chris Brooks to think, okay.
What?
To think he's going to be the starting running back against USF?
I don't know.
We're overreacting, Jarom.
No, well, it's not an overreaction to think he will be. Here's why. You don't bring him in to be a backup, per se. You know what I mean? Lopini Katoa is probably feeling like, hey, I've earned the opportunity to get a shot at being the guy, or I want to be the guy. But to me, Lopini is a great number 2. He is. I think Christopher Brooks starts as your guy. Workhorse back, Power 5 dude, has done nothing to not, deserve this opportunity too. And guess what? You probably need both. Like Tyler Algier, the fact that he lasted all season, and he was banged up. He played through an injury too. Was incredible. Nothing short of incredible.
BYU needed Jackson McChesney at USC.
Right? Like, you can't just, literally on this show, we can't just rely on you and I to host it. We have to have other amazing people to support,
He's going to be the starter.
He'll be the starter. Yeah, I think so. Kalani Sitake was asked about the 5 new hires to his coaching staff and if this was just the beginning of the expansion of the staff.
Unprecedented is not just only 5 guys, so we'll see. I don't know if there's a limit to it, but let's just keep it going. I think Tom and the administration is doing a good job at getting us the resources, and there's a lot more that we propose that we asked for, and we'll get there. But I like the momentum that it's gaining and the opportunity that we have to have, just to add the resources that get us to that level that we need to be going into this fall and definitely into next year.
I love reading between the lines.
Sure.
Sarcastic Kalani.
Come on now.
Clearly 5's not enough to him.
Shoot your shot, brother. Make it public. Let's go. He is
5 is not unprecedented.
He is
5 guys is actually a restaurant.
Very clear about not just what he wants, but what he legitimately feels like he needs to make the transition to the Big 12.
Yes.
No bones about it.
Sure.
He has stated his opinion.
That's got to be the tip of the iceberg. Like adding some analysts and assistant strength and conditioning coaches is awesome. But it's not the end, right? And it's clearly not the end.
BYU has, and this is an approximation, about an average of 20 fewer staff members per football staff within the current construct of the Big 12. So
20?
Adding 5 brings that number a little bit closer to what they want to be like the other Big 12 institutions.
Only 15 more. Let's go.
Is Kalani going to get what he wants? We hope.
If he doesn't, you'll hear more sarcastic sound bites like that.
Coach Sitake, not surprisingly, is excited about what he sees already from his offensive line, but he also likes what he saw from his defensive line on day one, which may qualify to some as a surprise.
I'm really excited about our depth. I thought we've always had some really good talent, but the game-ready talent I've seen from the O-line, I mean, don't underestimate the D-line. The D-line is going to be really good too. And they're strong. They're just young. and they'll grow up a lot in the next few months before we get for fall camp. So I'm excited about the big boys. I want to see them, put the helmets on and clash a little bit and get bigger and stronger, but gain more valuable competition and experience, some violent experience in spring football.
Violent experiences.
Violent experience.
Jarom, will the Cougars own both sides of the ball in the trenches in the 2022 season?
O-line is pretty proven, and you add a healthy Harris LaChance back and Kingsley Suamataia, one of the highest recruits ever signed. The O-line, to me, is like, yeah, that better be dominant. The D-line, I'm excited for when that happens. I hope that soon. They just have more to prove in that regard. And we're talking about, okay, are you stuffing the run at a high level, which BYU's done a good job traditionally, not as much last year, but like previously. And then, hey, can you get to the quarterback sometimes when there's a traditional drop back? I'm not talking about when they get the ball out quick. You're not going to get to the quarterback. It's those, okay, third and long, they need to drop back, and you get some real pressure on, and you affect the play. Create some havoc more often, more regularly. That's what we're looking for. Young guys like Logan Fano and company hopefully add to that group.
Yeah, how much youth is on that defensive line based on all the experience that youth picked up in actual games last year? He said they're still a little bit young, but they don't feel so young anymore. They went through a lot of tough stuff, a lot of reps. A lot of guys got meaningful reps last year on that defensive line.
So do it.
All right, our question of the day. What's your BYU spring football day one overreaction?
BYU's winning the national championship.
Let's get to Voice of the Nation.
This is the Voice of the Nation on BYU Sports Nation.
Bradley Perkins in line with you, Jarom, on Facebook. College football playoff. Here we come.
Alert.
You said overreaction,
alert.
right?
Jaron Hall will win the Heisman.
Blue goggle alert.
And BYU will go to the college football.
Oh, my goodness.
No, neither of those are happening.
Now, what's something that could happen? Our boy Cam Mellor, once again, going out on a limb. He said Jaron Hall is a first-round talent.
No, that's pretty blue goggle. Like
First-round talent.
If you just tell me Jaron Hall draft pick next year, I go, oh, that's great. I love it.
You want an overreaction? BYU is going to win 10 games next year.
Yeah.
You're another one? Jaron Hall's going to throw for 4,000 yards.
That'd be great.
Let's go.
If Jaron Hall plays in every game, he's got a shot.
That's the key.
Will Jaron Hall play in every game?
That is the key.
You know what I mean? Like, let's get this guy as healthy as possible.
Hashtag BYUSN to join that conversation.
Coming up, Spencer's new rookie card. Or was that Zach Wilson's?
Plus, ESPN college basketball analyst John Gassaway is winning 2 games in Las Vegas, enough to put BYU men's basketball in the bracket. We'll ask him next on BYU Sports Nation.
This portion of BYU Sports Nation is presented by BYU Food to Go, the MVP of your next event.
When BYU made such a difference in our lives, I think really helped mold us as to who we are. And so when we had that opportunity and came back to Boise and found out there was an active chapter, we thought, okay, that's something that I can really get behind and get involved in.
We want to promote the BYU experience all over the region. We want people who leave BYU to still stay connected.
Dexter & Dexter is a full-service law firm offering a wide range of legal services. Since 1995, we have helped more than 20,000 Utahns both to navigate life's challenges and to make the most of life's opportunities. From personal injury to business law, and from adoption to bankruptcy, we are passionate about shouldering your burdens. To learn more about scheduling a no-obligation consultation, visit dexterlaw.com.
When my grandfather started this company in 1947, he couldn't have envisioned what we would ultimately become. We realized that our value to our customers is that we will be there day after day, year after year, doing whatever we need to find solutions to the challenges that they face. We are committed to be honestly better in all that we do, in every opportunity that we have to serve our customers.
Come true. You two are bombing. Buddy, come on. Help me out here. We got it. You know we got it. Come on. I'm undercover as a cat. Yeah, I'm very good at assuming other identities. No. I'm in too deep. I need to catch that laser dot.
BYU Sports Nation is presented by the BYU Store, official outfitter of BYU fans everywhere.
Join us tonight for the season finale of BYU basketball. Mark Pope, Alex Barcelo, and Tijon Lucas are the guests with the coach and Gregory Wrubell. Tonight at 8:30 Eastern on the BYU TV app.
Cannot wait for that.
I know the Mapleton 20th Ward Deacons will be there.
AB and Tijon hanging out together. That's a fitting end to the.
They've played roughly
Mark
1,000 basketball games.
Seriously.
It's more like 500, but yeah.
We are live at Studio B with your day-to-day BYU Sports play-by-play. I'm Spencer Linton alongside Jarom Jordan. Joining us now over the phone is ESPN.com college hoops analyst John Gassaway, who frankly lives his life on the bubble with all of those bubble teams in the NCAA tournament. John, welcome to BYU Sports Nation.
Thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
What's your daily routine like in the month of March as a college basketball analyst and pseudo-bracketologist?
I wake up bleary-eyed from having watched usually some Mountain West game until late Eastern time at night, and then I have to roll out of bed promptly and check how the various metrics that the actual committee looks at, how those have changed overnight. Make sure that all the categories at Bubble Watch at ESPN.com still make sense given what has changed, and just dive right in. It's hectic, but it's only roughly from the Super Bowl to Selection Sunday, and it's an interesting way to live. It gives me the rest of the year to kick around it.
Yeah, it's like a sprint for a month, right? Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so where do you have BYU as it pertains to the bubble and the NCAA tournament?
I love when there's universal agreement. It's not only Bubble Watch that has BYU as one of the first 4 teams out. BracketMatrix.com has them in the exact same place. My good friend and colleague Joe Lunardi has BYU as one of the first 4 teams out, which of course means the committee is going to make BYU a 1 seed. None of us are the committee, and everything that we're going to say going forward here carries that disclaimer. The committee will do whatever it wants, but based on past selections and a lot of work, this is the consensus right now that if the selection were held today, BYU would be just on the wrong side of the cut line.
ESPN college hoops analyst John Gassaway with us on BYU Sports Nation. John, I feel strongly, and I've been saying this for a few weeks, that if BYU just gets an opportunity at a quad 1 win in Las Vegas at the WCC tournament by taking on San Francisco, just maybe that's enough to push them on the right side of the bubble. Of course, they got to beat either LMU or Pacific on Friday to earn that opportunity now. But in your opinion, if BYU wins that first game and then they beat a good USF team head-to-head on Saturday night, is that enough to bolster the Cougars' resume and put them into the bracket?
It is absolutely necessary that they first survive the game against LMU or Pacific and then beat San Francisco. That is absolutely necessary. Whether that will be enough, we can't say, and it might not be, because if you look at the teams that are right, side by side with BYU, they need wins too, and they are in conference tournaments too, and they'll get quad 1 opportunities. So, teams like SMU, for example, can run into Houston in their conference tournament, perhaps. Oregon maybe can run into UCLA or USC or somebody. So everybody who's on the bubble is in this similar boat. The only team that's competing team that BYU has a real advantage on that way is Loyola Chicago. They're not going to get good opportunities in the Missouri Valley tournament. So, yes, BYU does need to beat San Francisco, and even that might not be enough, sadly.
Yeah, and the hope is that BYU gets that chance and then plays competitively enough against Gonzaga on the Monday in the semifinal to not drop too far. Okay, so give us a sense of, on the bubble, how far in do you need to be to feel comfortable? Because if you're one of the first 4 in, you're still maybe, out. Do you need to get into those first 4 bye spots to feel a little better?
Yes, because the committee usually drops at least one bombshell, that makes everybody go, what? We had that team, not just first four out, but next four out, and they're in. And sometimes, I like to imagine the committee doing it on purpose, say, look, this will get all those guys at bracketology. We're just going to do this out of left field. So, yeah, absolutely. And, last year, for people with a long memory, last year was kind of strange because there were a smaller number of games, all the cancellations. But still, people thought they felt pretty good about Louisville getting in. And the committee said, no, that's going to Utah State instead. So there's certainly always the potential for a significant surprise, yes.
John, if you would be so kind and explain to me a team like North Carolina versus a team like BYU, when you just look at the resume. The Tar Heels have a better net than BYU by roughly 10 spots, depending on, what day you're looking at it. But they have one Quad 1 win, and they have a Quad 4 loss, almost inexplicably, against Pitt at home, just like BYU had against Pacific. So why are those two teams viewed so differently when BYU is 4-5 or 3-4 in Quad 1 opportunities, and North Carolina only has one Quad 1 win?
Well, what the net ranking is responding to is it thinks that North Carolina is the stronger team based on the whole season. The net looks at games that North Carolina has lost to and how well they did in those losses. And it thinks that if we could get and just speaking head-to-head here, if we could get the Tar Heels and the Cougars together on a neutral floor and play a best-of-7 series, or better yet, 100 games, the net's pretty confident that North Carolina would come out on top on that. So that's what that is speaking to. Now, the committee looks at two completely independent types of metrics, and the net ranking is a sorting metric, but it also is measuring team strength. The committee likes to look at metrics called strength of record is one and KPI is the other, and those just look at wins and losses. They're not looking at the strength of your performance at all. They're just looking at, which games did you win and which did you lose. So that's where North Carolina is a little weaker. And, on balance, they're coming in above BYU, not by much, but it's a significant portion of Division I where you say you're about 6 spots ahead of BYU. That's not a lot, but it's the difference between in and out right at this portion that we're talking about.
And I wonder if Oregon has, a nice little finish to the season, maybe gets a couple wins here and there and climbs into the top 50 and becomes another quad win for BYU, that perhaps with 5 quad 1 wins, because BYU has 4 at the moment, maybe that might be in BYU's favor. We'll see. You have to win, right, but you also have to hope the teams around you do well, but also Oregon's in the mix for one of those bubble positions, so it's awkward. And we've talked about, do we want Oregon to just straight up lose, or do we want them to win a little bit to become top 50 and somehow still be out?
Right. These are great examples because Oregon, is the opposite of North Carolina. Oregon's the kind of Rutgers of the Pac-12, where they came within a possession of sweeping, UCLA and USC, and that's incredible. They didn't quite get it done. They did sweep UCLA, but they've got some terrible losses too, and just a really tough team to figure. So you're right. If these numbers that we were talking about with BYU and North Carolina, if you look at them with Oregon, the metrics are like, you're crazy. They're not even close. No way. But, if you see them play basketball, you know how good they are. You know they're capable of beating anybody. And what the Ducks have to do right now is take care of business on the road against Washington State to even stay in this conversation.
John, hypothetically speaking, if BYU beats USF, what are the chances that the West Coast Conference actually puts 4 teams into the tournament?
It could happen, and that is the blessing and the curse of membership in a conference that good. Is BYU kind of got into this first 4 out fix in the first place because the Cougars lost 4 in a row, and with 3 of those, you say, well, this is a really good league. Losing at Santa Clara and even at home to San Francisco, and of course at home to Gonzaga. No shame there, and that's true. Great teams have lost all those games. St. Mary's lost at Santa Clara. But you throw in that, Pacific loss, and that's exactly what happens to teams in leagues like the Big 12, is they lose 4 games in a row, and you're like, well, what are you going to do? No, wait a minute. Look at this. This is one loss to West Virginia. That's actually pretty bad. That's kind of what happened to BYU, and it's a good thing for the West Coast Conference front office that the league is strong enough to quite conceivably put 4 teams in. But you've got to be vigilant, man, when you're playing your league schedule, and that did come up and bite BYU a little bit. It's a combination of things, but that is one of the things.
John, if you had to put a % chance on BYU making the tournament, what would you put it at right now?
I would put it at about 40%.
Okay, great stuff.
Which is good. I want to point out. If you tell me,
I take it.
No, if you tell me I've got a 40% chance of winning the lottery tonight, I am really excited.
Yes.
That's great. Yeah. So I think it's a good chance.
Hey, we appreciate your time, especially in the midst of such a crazy month. So thanks for hanging out with us on BYU Sports Nation. Let's do it again soon. And I wish you rest once March Madness, or at least Selection Sunday, is over.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for having me.
John Gassaway, ESPN.com, college hoops analyst. He writes great stuff. His bubble watch is super in detail. I'm looking at it on a daily basis. This is my life right now. I appreciate what he does because, I just can't get enough of it. I think the bubble is super fascinating.
He says 40%.
40%. That's a little better than the 3.7% chance that Team Rankings is giving BYU.
I'd take 40% right now.
Holy cow.
Coming up, will Power 5 status make us more unbearable?
And should BYU football bring back the bibs as a retro uniform?
Oh, my gosh.
Like ever? This is BYU Sports
That's
Nation.
one of the worst questions ever asked on this program.
But how would you answer it?
Let me tell you right now.
Tim Daly Ford in Spanish Fork offers a large inventory of Ford vehicles, including a selection of cars and trucks, providing a range of transportation choices. From the Ford Fusion sedan and the Edge crossover SUV to a range of pickups including the F-150. Each product line comes with options to enhance performance, comfort, and safety. Think Ford, think Tim Daly Ford in Spanish Fork.
Luxurious blanket. Getting cozy with family and friends. A gift for everyone. Minky Couture, official luxury blanket of BYU Athletics.
Hey family, if you're looking for something new to watch, stop scrolling and start streaming. BYU TV has a ton of great options to binge together. From bold adventure to family drama and even a little fun, there's something for everyone. Binge entire series, experience all the feels, immerse in non-stop intrigue, and treat yourself to unexpected turns. Think you know BYU TV? We're just getting started.
BYU Sports Nation is brought to you by Maersk, enabling global trade for a growing world.
Enter for your chance to win one of 5 BYU basketball prize packs that include autographs from the women and men's teams, socks, mini hoop, and more by following BYU TV Sports on Instagram. Like the post, tag friends for more entries. The giveaway runs through March 7th. 5 winners will be announced on this very program, March 8th.
Can you win?
No.
Can you win?
No.
All right. We got to figure out a way to get you
I
that
also
basketball.
can't win. No, I'll just go get one. That's nundish.
He is Jarom. I'm Spencer. This is BYU Sports Nation. To interact with the show and get content throughout the day, follow us on all of the major social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Time to whip it. Cougar Whip Around presented by Maersk, your integrated container logistics company enabling global trade for a growing world.
Would a win against San Francisco on Saturday, assuming BYU wins, right? Do what last night's San Diego State win at Wyoming did?
Absolutely. I mean, we're talking about a very, very similar circumstance. San Diego State was just behind BYU on the bubble. In a quad one opportunity, they won that game. Why would it not do that for BYU? Yeah, it feels like BYU would go from 2 out to maybe 3 or 4 in. It's that good of a win on Saturday if they get it.
The hope is that that would hold because it's going to be 8 days before Selection Sunday. So the hope is that it's like, can BYU not slide out?
Yeah, it's going to be a white knuckle finish for BYU men's basketball. Driving to what they hope is an NCAA tournament spot. Hopefully it's a 5th quad one win, maybe a 6th, Jarom, if Oregon sneaks in there.
I don't know. I think winning in the NIT may be better than losing in the first round, said the idiot.
Oh, gosh. Jarom, this is March, officially. It's March 1st. But will a BYU basketball team be playing in April?
Spencer, I have a shocking answer for you. No. I really hope the women's team makes a Sweet 16 run or better. But yeah, April would be like the Final Four.
April would be program changing.
That'd be amazing.
Earth moving.
Listen, this women's team could go on any kind of run they want to. You know what I mean? But like, I'll take the Sweet 16.
Sure.
I would take the Sweet 16.
It's so often about matchups. Like, what region and quadrant does BYU get put in? Which number 1 seed would they be playing in the Sweet 16? Like, it's all about matchups. All right, Jarom, take us to some retro uniforms.
Yes, with the Tampa Bay Bucks bringing back the cream school unis for 2023, should the Cougars bring back the bibs for the inaugural Big 12 season?
No, it's just too soon. It's still too soon.
There will never be a time where these will be a good look. Ever. Never.
For a one-off, maybe against like, an old Mountain West foe 10 years down the road, maybe. It's just too soon.
No, never.
Never?
They should be used for, animals, cleaning up stuff. No, they're the worst. That was an apostasy.
Certainly not for the inaugural Big 12 season.
Even Rob Morris hates him, and he was like one of the best players on the team. Come on, man.
At West Coast Football asked the following question on Twitter. Which Western college football program's fans would become unbearable if said team ever became a powerhouse? Jarom, do BYU fans need to become a powerhouse program to finally become unbearable?
Well, Cougar Board is already unbearable. We would become.
Nice.
Why? We would become pretty unbearable if that happened. We're still waiting for Utah to become a powerhouse because they would be unbearable too.
Well, Utah fans already think BYU fans are unbearable.
We are. So are they. We're all unbearable. 1 Rose Bowl in 11 years does not make you a powerhouse.
Oh, for a second, you were saying 1 Rose Bowl, and I didn't know how far back you were going to go, and I thought you might be talking about UCLA. Yeah.
It's like 94 or something.
Got to get the daily dig on the UCLA Bruins college football program.
BYU Sports Nation viewer Nelvin Wilson tweeted that he finally got the Spencer Linton rookie card. Oh, and that Zach Wilson was on it too. So happy. Is this actually your rookie card featuring Zach Wilson?
Debatable. I always wanted to be on a sports card. I collected a ton of these. I'm still waiting for the Beckett magazine to come back so that we can get the actual value of this rookie card.
And the value is 97 cents.
Me and that other guy named Zach Wilson.
That other chump.
This is definitely a Zach Wilson rookie card.
Yeah.
I am very out of focus in the background.
We should do that right now with you. Can we do that? Can you pull focus here on Spence?
Oh, very just
super out of focus.
Out of focus.
Just out of focus.
Take me out of focus. It's what
There we go.
Now that's exactly what I look like in the rookie card right there. Fantastic.
Let's do the rest of the segment with this.
Except I'm like folding my arms. I'm looking concerned because I know that play, Jarom. It's on the final drive, and Zach is scrambling for a few yards to get out of bounds to save some time.
Of what?
At the Tennessee game in the fourth quarter.
Tennessee.
Yes, on that final drive.
Yeah.
There's a reason I was looking concerned. It was not good.
Not good. Coming up. We're back in focus. There we go. Top 5 Tuesday, the best plays of the women's basketball season.
Plus, BYU women's track and field star Haley Folsom Walker
Yeah.
How does one get involved in the pentathlon? This is BYU Sports Nation.
Baller, man.
If I got hurt and was laid up at home, I wouldn't even think to call a lawyer. What a hassle. I'd want to meet them first.
What if I told you that for your first consultation, your lawyer will come to you, home or hospital?
Really?
Really.
They do that?
If you've been injured, we'll come to you. It's your job to get better. It's our job to deal with the insurance companies.
Learn more at siegfriedandjensen.com.
BYU Food to Go's convenient location at 2191 North Canyon Road in Provo makes bringing popular BYU foods to your next event easy. Everything's ready when you need it at the drive and load pickup. You drive in and they load no matter the weather. And stop in the on-site creamery for great BYU chocolate milk and ice cream. BYU Food to Go, bringing campus to your table. Call for details, 801-422-5001.
Hi, Spencer Linton here, letting you know when your company joins the BYU team as a corporate partner, your brand can be featured in sports programming on BYU TV and BYU Radio. In addition to all of the great games, you can be part of the BYU coaches shows, place your message in Countdown to Kickoff, basketball pre- and post-game shows, and each weekday on BYU Sports Nation. We invite your team to join ours and become a corporate sponsor of BYU Athletics. For details, email sponsorship@byu.edu today.
On the next relative race, teams set their sights on a new relative.
Are you serious?
Angela finds family that was never far away.
I always meant to fight with people.
And Rochelle is one step closer to her father.
I've never had anyone that I looked like.
BYU Sports Nation is presented by the BYU Store, official outfitter of BYU fans everywhere.
Join us on Brigham Young University Television for West Coast Conference Tournament basketball coverage starting tomorrow, 3 Eastern. We'll broadcast 12 games, got halftime shows and shows between games, plus BYU Sports Nation live from the Orleans Arena in, as my grandpa used to call it, Lost Wages.
Well, it's fitting.
Depends how aggressive you're going to be.
Straight up, that is fitting.
Yeah.
Welcome back to BYU Sports Nation live from Studio B. As Jarom mentioned, I'll be in Vegas on Thursday. You'll be here hanging out with Tyler Haws.
You'll be in Vegas tomorrow.
That's true.
Yeah.
I will be in Las Vegas tomorrow night.
Yeah.
How about that? Other important things like BYU track and field pentathlete Hallie. Don't call her Haley like I just did.
Don't do it.
Hallie Folsom Walker joins us in Studio B. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Are you is she the first pentathlete we've ever had in studio, perhaps? You might be.
There's a good chance.
We've talked to a heptathlete. I'm trying to remember.
But not pentathlete? Yeah.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Same, but different.
Yes,
sure.
yes,
It's a little different.
Yeah.
Hey, so first question is, how did you get introduced to the pentathlon? Because it is such a unique event.
Yeah. So it started out in high school. As most of us on the track team are we get used for our points. And I was doing a lot of different events. My coach asked if I had ever heard of the heptathlon, which I hadn't. And so he told me what it was. It sounded really fun. I started to do all the events one by one and then ended up running an 800. And sadly, that seems to be the gift that I was given. So I ran an 800 and I ran a fast time. And after that, I got a bunch of colleges saying, hey, you should be a heptathlete for us. And so the heptathlon is done outdoor. The pentathlon is done indoor. So currently I'm doing the pentathlon.
Okay, and then heptathlon here coming up in the outdoors.
Yeah, coming up.
That's very cool. That's awesome. Okay, so you have one of the most athletic families ever, perhaps. Dad played at Ricks and Brown. Yeah. That's a combo that no one's ever had before, by the way. Mom played tennis here. Yeah. Older brother Rob played baseball at Oregon State. Your brother Ryan played here at BYU. That's pretty awesome. Was athletics a huge deal in your family growing up?
Yeah, it's just what we all loved. We do Folsom Family Olympics every time everybody was
What
home.
is this?
It consisted of a mile run, swimming in the summertime. We do relay races in the pool, lots of knockout, lots of tennis. Since my mom can still beat us all. She's 60 years old, still beats every one of us. Yeah. So we just love sports. It's just fun.
Folsom Family Olympics.
Yeah.
You're in the right
That's
place.
Cool.
You are in the right place right now. Hallie Folsom Walker is with us on BYU Sports Nation. Not to throw in anything else to your long list of accomplishments, but you served a mission in Mongolia.
Sure did.
Okay,
yeah.
so
Fun one.
how does an athlete, like, how do you go to Mongolia? I mean, did you try and stay in shape? Did you try and run? What'd you do out there? Because we all know that going on a mission is such an athletic advantage.
Huge advantage. All you do is work
We hear
out.
about it from all the opposing coaches. Such an advantage.
Oh,
So
I did.
How was it an advantage for you?
Oh, man. Well, doing shanty workouts in my apartment at 6:30 in the morning, getting, the broom hit on the ceiling because I was jumping on the floor for being too loud. I really tried. Just did a lot of body weight stuff in my apartment. On one particular area, I was in kind of the Park City of Mongolia. It's the touristy town. I mean, it's tiny, but that's what I'd compare it to. It's right on the border of Mongolia and Russia, and they happen to have just held their summer games. They have a really big holiday in the summers, and so they built a track there for those games.
Wow.
Oh.
And I happened to be serving in that area,
Oh.
so I got about 8 weeks of nice running around this track, and my companion would sit in the middle and just stretch while I ran. So
That's funny.
Yeah.
Genghis Khan, huge in Mongolia.
yeah, it's actually pronounced
Genghis Khan.
Oh my gosh, look at you. How did you know that?
Because I've talked to a Mongolian about it.
Oh
one
yeah.
time, yeah.
That's
Right?
the man.
Did I say that correctly?
Perfectly.
Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan. Yeah, I get
Yeah.
that guttural.
Yeah.
I think I had a sore throat for about a week in the MTC because I was like trying to figure it out.
Would he have been good at the pentathlon? Because I learned in World Civ pre 1500 that Genghis Khan and his homies were so good at shooting arrows they could do like 100 yards turning around on a horse, like crazy stuff.
Yeah, no, that's they still do it to this day.
Oh wow!
That's that holiday I was talking about. It's called Nadam, and there's 3 sports: wrestling, archery, and forgetting the third one right now, but archery is one of them.
And
they
pickleball.
do. Yeah.
Cornhole.
Oh, horse racing, duh.
And horse
That's
racing,
what
okay.
it is, horse
Yeah.
racing.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, so they still do it, and they're still incredible.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's cool.
What's your favorite event within the pentathlon or heptathlon, depending on whether you're outside or indoors?
Yeah. Whatever I'm doing the best at that day, that's the best one. So the pentathlon can be brutal. There's some days that you do well in all 5, and some days that you do well in 4, and one of them ruins your day. So whatever one's going well is the one I love. At this point, I've been doing them long enough that I feel like I love all of them. So
It's such a unique athletic situation, right? Because you're doing all these different things. Yet I'm reading in high school that you were a state champ from Medford in the hurdles and the high jump.
yeah.
That's pretty good. And then how'd you do again at the MPSF championships last week?
Was able to get the dove at
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
MPSF champ, that's what's up.
I won.
Take that, Genghis Khan.
Exactly. Proclaim it.
Yeah.
You are the winner. What are your ambitions within the sport as you push forward?
Right now, it's kind of unknown. I feel like because of COVID, I've had a little longer to continue my career than I might have thought, back in 2015 when I was a freshman. But I am kind of looking forward to some more opportunities that might come my way. So.
Oh, that's exciting. And remind me, did you qualify for NCAA championships
Yeah.
in indoor? Awesome.
Yeah, qualified.
Amazing. So that's coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'll see you in Alabama in a couple weeks.
Let's go.
Alabama. We would love to go as well. That'd be great. What are you expecting from yourself there? What's the goal there?
Yeah, the goal is to place in the top 8. I'm 11th right now in the ranking.
Okay.
There's about 4 points between me and 8th place, so it's really tight right there. But I think that first team All-American is kind of the goal that I'm shooting for. So.
And what have you done previously? What's your high?
My pentathlon high, or just the placing?
In nationals.
Oh, at nationals last year I got 14th.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Came in 15th, came out 14th, so I got a little.
There you go. There you go.
Some movement.
So there's a shot at first team All-American here.
Yeah, shot at first team. I'd love to score some points for the team.
Fantastic.
Amazing.
Hallie Folsom Walker is on BYU Sports Nation. The modern pentathlon, and I know all about this because I covered this in Palm Springs, California. Okay, so like the World Cup pentathlon came to Palm Springs for one of their events.
Cool.
It's fencing, shooting, swimming, horse riding, and cross-country running.
I feel like you could do all this.
Would you ever consider Competing in a modern pentathlon.
In a modern pentathlon. What were all 5 again? Read them to me.
Fencing.
Okay, that one's a new one.
Shooting. Swimming, you'd be fine.
I could do that.
Riding.
Horse riding.
I do that.
Channel your inner Genghis Khan.
And
grew up on a farm, had some horses.
There
so
you go.
I've done that once or twice.
Cross country running.
Yeah, that one's easy. So I just got to learn 2. 2 of the 3. That's better ratio than I had coming into college. I knew like 4 of the 7. So I was like,
yeah. Hey, not bad.
Yeah.
Fencing and shooting.
Yeah.
Fencing's the one that's out there, probably.
I'm a little worried about that one.
Give me a few years.
Okay.
And a really good coach.
You got time. You got time. Hallie, it's great to talk to you. Let's give you some BYU Sports Nation karma. The way it happens is great athletes come on the program.
Yes.
You get the karma.
Okay.
And we want
take that next step.
Herbie Hancock.
Perfect.
Yes, we'd love you to sign the flag as well. Okay.
Awesome. Okay, NCAA Indoor Championships coming up in a couple of weeks in Alabama.
You got the karma now.
Let's go. Okay, coming up, farewell to a mustache.
And the top 5 BYU women's basketball plays from an already unforgettable and historic season. This was tough to cut it down to 5. This is BYU's, excuse me, this is BYU Sports.
It's an emotional thing.
Well, Hallie, here's out of it.
This portion of BYU Sports Nation is presented by Delta Airlines. Keep climbing.
Trio Orem Senior Living believes in empowering seniors to live life to the fullest. We help eliminate stress out of daily life when you live at Trio. Less time focusing on housework means you can socialize at one of our many events, with safety in mind, of course. And did we mention our spacious apartments with modern amenities? Learn more about setting up a private tour at trioorem.com.
Every day, I help an animal walk again.
I believe that having special needs animals has brought an extra layer of richness to the fabric of our family.
Not many people take in these special needs guys, but in the end, they're the best ones.
It's unbelievable. It's like his disability has disappeared.
Every step just proves to me that these dogs can get through anything.
Ladies and gentlemen, Will Forte! Honey, look! My wish must have come true! You two are coming.
Buddy, come on, help me out here. We got it. You know we got it. Come on.
I'm undercover as a cat. Yeah, I'm very good at assuming other identities. No. I'm in too deep. I need to catch that laser dot.
This portion of BYU Sports Nation is presented by Mountain America, the official credit union of BYU Athletics.
BYU Sports Nation, always available on demand via the BYU TV and BYU radio apps.
Or download the podcast. You can do what's called Googling BYU Sports Nation podcast. Subscribe, rate it, and review it if you would like.
Throw it in Netscape Navigator. You can't
put it in there. Your Mozilla
you can't
browser.
Miss it. Yes, Lycos.
What? What's that one? Lycos? I don't know that one.
One of the many browsers.
What?
Oh, I digress. Bring on Top 5 Tuesday, presented by Delta Airlines. Keep climbing. Again, this was legitimately tough, narrowing down the top 5 plays from the BYU women's basketball regular season.
An impossible task, but we set out to do it. Here we go. Number 5. Tegan Graham sets the women's basketball three-point record. Hits her 10th three. Are you kidding me? 10 of 17 from 3 overall. 30 points. She didn't score any other points besides those threes because, you know what? It's 2022. All you need is threes. This three gave BYU a 2-point lead with 1 remaining. This was one of the 2 losses on the year, but it's not a bad loss. Not a bad loss at all.
Well, maybe if BYU didn't shoot 20 fewer free throws than Oklahoma, they probably win this game. Quattro.
Thank you.
Maria Albiero from Brazil with love channels her inner Jaron Hall and fires a one-handed dart to Shaylee Gonzalez for the and one. Albiero, as they say, threading the needle with pinpoint precision. And these two aren't done on this list.
And it was against Gonzaga. Number 3, Shaylee Gonzalez misses a 3, but follows her shot by tipping it over the defender with a rebound and score. Her reaction time to this is incredible. The tip, up and in, boom.
That's an infinity IQ play. It's just so good. At number 2, as advertised, more Albiero to Gonzalez, and here it is, another saucy bit of sharing between the two, but this time Shaylee catches and finishes all in one silky, smooth motion with her left hand, jumping off her left foot. That is ridiculous. Gonzalez able to control the long pass and calmly kiss it off the glass for the score.
The kiss off the glass! That's a crazy play. What could possibly be better than that? This one. Shaylee Gonzalez changes his direction on a dime, blows by a defender. Number 4 spot on SportsCenter's top 10 play. But more importantly, number 1 right here. Behind the back and in. Oh, Shaylee Gonzalez for president. He's so good, dude.
That is dirty.
Your discretion advised. This is the dirtiest thing we've ever shown on BYU TV.
That's, that's just
fantastic.
So good. Well done.
We
well deserving in SportsCenter's top 10.
We apologize to Utah State for absolutely nothing.
For absolutely nothing. Our question of the day. What's your favorite of those top 5 plays?
Carnage in those top 5.
Seriously.
Just shredding fools.
BYU women's basketball rolling. They deserve to be a top 4 seed. Unfortunately,
rolling. That's the first Limp Bizkit quote, perhaps, in the history of this program.
Yeah.
May there be many more.
And it will stay there. I'm not sure if we can fit many more in.
I do it all for the Cougar Tails.
Nope. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, for the Maple Bars.
Our question of the day. What's your BYU spring football day 1 overreaction? Our elite voice of the day presented by Sundance Mountain Resort. Bill Elliott on Facebook says,
Bill?
Spring ball is like the Lego movie. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team.
I like that. Although I do like this nomination, Cougar Chaps. Same as every year, national championship potential, but honestly, grateful for BYUSN giving us updates so I have a bona fide reason to don the blue goggles.
Yep.
Hashtag 1984 was just the first.
We're here for you.
Yes, we are.
We are here for you.
I don't know why that's the voice I heard from you, but that's what it was. So if you didn't like it, I apologize.
By the way, Lego movie.
Absolutely nothing.
Lego movie, still great. I was listening to it as my kids were watching it in our van.
Yes.
I can't see it, but I was cracking up.
It's so good.
It's so hilarious.
So good.
Today's Rise and Shoutouts presented by Mountain America, the official credit union of BYU Athletics.
Rise shout out to Houston Haymooley's mustache, which is now gone.
It was great.
Yeah.
But memorialized again in the recreation of the poster his dad
100%.
Okay, number 2, Kyle Van Noy, who is now a girl dad. Daddy girl is here. Daddy's girl, he said, is here. Giovanna Monet Van Noy, February 23rd. Mom is doing really well and is a champ. Baby's doing great as well.
That's great. Kid number 2 for the Van Noys. That's awesome.
Congratulations to both. To their whole family, for that matter. Our thanks to today's guests, John Gassaway and Hallie Folsom Walker.
Started in a spit, we ran out of time.
For Jarom, I'm Spencer. Shout out to Kim Beeston Parker. We'll see you tonight for BYU basketball with Mark Pope to preview the WCC tournament. A, B, and T-John on the show. Go Cougs.